Hey plant fam! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jaclyn. This is my jungle. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. So today I have a fun video for you guys. I was scrolling through the internet and I came across a Reddit thread talking about unpopular houseplant opinions, and I thought it would be fun to go through some of them together and discuss whether or not we agree or disagree. So let's get into it. Okay fam, so before we get into this video, a quick word from our sponsor for today, FlexiSpot. So they sent us this oversized recliner chair. It is a manual swivel chair, a rocking chair, and a recliner chair all in one. This came in 2 boxes and it was super easy to set up, super fast. It took David less than 15 minutes to get this all put together and in working order. We got it in the color dim gray, but it also comes in the color beige if that's not your vibe. So this oversized reclining chair comes with extra wide seats, padded armrests, and amazing lumbar support. It also comes with heating and massage capabilities that David is hooking up now. The fabric is super soft, super cozy, and the chair itself is really easy to move around. We love the swivel capabilities, and it also comes with side pockets and a really easy to use remote for the heating and massage settings. So don't miss out on this fam. It makes a great gift for your partner this holiday season. The link to grab yours will be in the description and the comment section below, and you can use code XRC530 for $30 off plus free shipping. That is code XRC530 for $30 off plus free shipping. Thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. So I've got my computer here in front of me so that I can read some of these for you guys. Some of them are actually really funny and relatable. So there are a few different Reddit threads talking about unpopular plant opinions. So I kind of pulled from different ones, and there were lots of common threads, and one that I definitely saw a lot was that succulents aren't easy to take care of. I've killed more of them than any other kind of plant. And I 100% agree with this comment. Let me know obviously in the comments below if you guys agree or disagree with these. I actually got started on succulents before I got into foliage plants. My plant journey started because I got gifted little baby succulents from a bridal shower. I took them home, I gave them lots of light and lots of love, and only one survived. I literally actually still have it. It's on the floor in front of me right here. And it just sparked this like insane love for succulents, and from there it was just a slippery slope into foliage plants, and here we are now with a bunch of very expensive anthurium behind me. So let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. I think that most people struggle with succulents because they don't give them enough light. If you don't have a space in your home to be giving these plants an insane amount of bright light, they're probably not going to thrive for you. So they're very, very easy care if you have the right environment for them. Same thing with cacti. So if you don't have that bright light, your cacti and your succulents are probably not going to do well. They're probably going to die, and you're probably going to be sad about it. So just be aware if you do get into succulents for any reason to make sure that you have a really nice bright window to put them in. I've got like south facing, west facing windows where I shove all of my cacti and my succulents, and they do really well there. So I do agree with this one. Succulents are not as easy as people say they are. Somebody said, not a fan of the string of plants. Some of them don't even look like plants. Also, the elaborate soil mixes people make for their plants. I get it definitely helps the plant thrive, but being careful with watering and using regular soil is usually fine, at least for me. Okay, so let's address the first part, string of plants. I like them. I think they're beautiful. I love a trailing plant. They can definitely be kind of a pain to grow. So if you do struggle with your string of things, I've got a video. I'll leave it linked up here for you guys. It's one of my older videos and it is my most popular video because I think that it's pretty common for people to struggle with these plants. So I definitely disagree that they still look like plants and they're really pretty. This person probably also hates Hoya. I'm just throwing it out there. They're not for everybody, but we love Hoya here. So I know you guys probably also disagree, but let me know in the comments below if you like string of plants. Somebody also said somewhere in here that they thought that like string of pearls just looked like peas. Yeah, string of pearls looks like peas, which is really do, but they're cute. They're cute little peas. So the second part of this person's comment was interesting because I do think that I agree and I disagree about the soil mix. I don't think that you need to overcomplicate it, but I also don't think that you should just go to Home Depot and buy a bag of Miracle-Gro and use that on all your plants. It's really important to understand different needs, and I think it's fine if you only have like a handful of plants. This person probably only has a handful of plants that they can give all of their attention to, but for plant people like us who have more than 10 plants, it can become really time consuming to know when you need to water each different plant if you have them all in the same exact medium. So for me, my Anthurium get a different soil mix than my Hoya, than my Monstera, and even though it's all the same ingredients, I mix them proportionately different depending on how thirsty the plant is. So my Anthurium are definitely water-loving plants, so they don't get as chunky of a soil mix. You don't need to overcomplicate your soil mix at all, but you also shouldn't use the same exact mix for every single plant. So the pot that you put it in also matters. There are so many factors that go into how often you have to water your plants. So do what works for you, boo-boo. If you want to make like a crazy elaborate soil mix, you do you. But mine has 3 ingredients and I use the same stuff on every single plant. Like I said, I just tweak the ratios. So my Hoya get more chunky of a soil, so I'll put more bark and perlite in it, as opposed to my Anthurium that don't get as chunky of a soil. The only thing I do differently is if I'm doing a plant that needs something really chunky, I will use the bigger pieces of orchid bark, as opposed to my Anthurium, I use the smaller pieces of orchid bark. So you can definitely tweak it a little bit for sure, but you don't need to overcomplicate the process. And please don't buy Miracle-Gro. Just don't buy it. You're probably going to end up with fungus gnats. It's not great soil. It has synthetic fertilizer in it. I personally use Fox Farm. Espoma is a great brand as well if you're looking to just be able to pick it up from a big box store. So whatever you do with your soil is your business, but I just ask you not to buy Miracle-Gro anything. Not a good company. There's a lot of comments here about drain holes too, and everybody's saying that drain holes are not necessary, and this is a touchy topic for a lot of people. This is definitely one of those things that will get plant people arguing with each other in the comments for sure. And I'm gonna set the record straight for you guys. Drain holes are not important for every single plant. I actually have an example right here for you I can show you. So this here is one of my Ripsalis, and I've had this plant for years now. I potted it into this skull planter. It has no drainage and it does perfectly fine. It's even got new growth. You could see all these little pinkish red dudes here are new growth, plus This is one of my favorite like plant pot combos that I have in my collection. And I was not about to not pot into this just because it didn't have a drain hole. Now, of course, you can put a drain hole in your pots that don't have a drain hole, or you can just use a nursery pot and then use the other pot that doesn't have a hole as a catch pot. But I'm here to tell you that most plants are going to be fine in a pot with no drainage. You just have to be very deliberate about the amount of water that you give it. So the only time I do that is with these type of plants that are more like succulent-y in nature or really easygoing plants. I've got a pothos that's in a pot with no drainage that's been in there for years and it does totally fine. So I actually even have a couple of anthurium in no drainage pots. So when you have no drain hole, you just have to be very, very, very careful and very deliberate about the amount of water that you are giving these plants because there is nowhere for the water to go. So I agree and I disagree depending on the plant. So the only way you're going to know is to just try things. I always tell you guys, there is no one size fits all care for everybody. It's going to be different for everyone and you have to find what's going to work for you. It's totally fine to take advice from people on the internet and try different things, but what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me, and that's totally fine. It doesn't mean that either one of us are doing anything wrong. So I think that's a really important takeaway from this video. If you're gonna walk away with anything, just know that all plant care is so ambiguous. There are so many factors, there are so many variables that go into plant care that it is impossible to say, definitely do this and definitely don't do that. When I give you guys care tips, it is just based off of my experience and what has worked for me, and it's totally okay if you do something different. So don't let people bully you about potting into pots that don't have drain holes, okay? Okay. This person also said top watering is perfectly fine and for the most part is how plants get watered in nature. That's just exactly how plants get watered in nature. I've talked about bottom watering before. I don't have any issues if that's how you prefer to water your plants. You do just need to flush the soil every once in a while. It is good to water from the top and let the water drain out the bottom. I personally just prefer watering them regular, but if I have a plant that's like really extra thirsty or it's in a really chunky mix that is not getting fully saturated when I water from the top, then I will leave some water in the tray and allow the plant to just take up everything that it needs and dump the rest. So it really is dependent on the plant and the medium that you have it in. Like certain mediums, just really if you pour the water, it comes right out the bottom and the substrate is just not really absorbing it fast enough. So that is when I do recommend bottom watering. I just don't like it personally. I only do it when I really, really, really need to make sure that a plant is getting fully saturated. So you do you, boo-boo, though. Like, honestly, it's none of my business how you water your plants. It's none of anybody's business how you water your plants as long as your plants get water and they're surviving, they're thriving, they're good. Again, you have to do what's going to work for you and not necessarily what everybody on the internet is telling you to do. Bottom watering is not going to get rid of your fungus gnats. I'm sorry. And you do need to get the top of the soil moist as well. The whole thing should be moist. You don't want just the bottom half of your pot to be soaking up the water and not the top half. So use your judgment. Honestly, it varies for me, plant to plant. So that's another topic though that's definitely like touchy for some people for whatever reason. You guys, they're plants. They're just plants. There's no reason for anybody to get like butthurt or argue with each other or get all up in arms about like what is the right thing versus the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is whatever works for you. This person said, I hate Monsteras. I don't care about your elbow. Ouch. Yeah, I disagree. I think Monstera elbow is classic. I think that maybe people are just tired of looking at it because it's like Monstera deliciosa leaves are like probably the most common tropical plant that you're gonna see depictions of. It's a beautiful leaf. That's why you see so much of it. So yeah, I just feel like for me personally, Monstera elbow is a classic and you really can't go wrong. It's super hardy. It's super like unstable, obviously, because that's the type of variegation is just unstable by nature. But I do find the elbow to be very, very consistent with its color. So I disagree. I love Monstera elbow. This person says, my plants will always be given tap water. One or two may get rainwater if they're lucky, but people who give filtered water or distilled, yeah, no, not for me. I definitely agree with this. I think that people get a little bit too weird about the water, I'm not gonna lie, but also it depends on the water where you live. So me personally, I use something in my water that helps balance out the pH of my tap water, and it also helps pull out the chlorine and the chloramine from the water that can be harmful to your plants. So this here is what I use. It's Houseplant tap water conditioner, and again, it helps buffer the pH and detoxify heavy metals, chlorine, and chloramine from your water. I got this off of Amazon. It's specifically formulated for your house plants, so it is not going to harm anything. I put a little capful into my water every time I water, and I haven't had any issues with my plants. I do plan on doing like a whole experiment, so stay tuned for that so I can showcase for you guys exactly how stuff like this works and talk to you a little bit more about how the products that we put in our water actually changes the pH of our water and how to combat that. So if you're worried about your tap water not being super clean, I always recommend testing it. Test your water for total dissolved solids. You can buy a tester on Amazon for really cheap. So thankfully I don't have dirty water where I am. It's pretty clean, so I don't worry too much about it, but I have started using this just as a precaution to avoid any type of like mineral buildup and stuff like that with my plants. So tap water I think is totally fine to water your plants with, but if you're worried about it, you can definitely get a product like this. I'll leave it linked down below for you guys. Again, I got it off of Amazon. And not worry about it, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not buying water. I'm certainly not paying for a jug of distilled water. It's a really common thing that people will tell you with like calathea and maranta and plants like that, that they need distilled water because the tap water will kill them. I've never had them die from tap water. So, but I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what type of water you use on your plants. Oh, this one's fun. Philodendron Pink Princess are kind of ugly. There. I said it. And I used to be one of these people that thought that they were ugly, and then I got some, and they're beautiful. They're pink. Very few plants are like actually pink, and the Philodendron Pink Princess, especially like the more marbly ones that have been coming out, you just have to find a good one. So there are definitely like ugly Pink Princess that are just kind of like muddy, brown, don't have a lot of pink on them, but the ones that do are absolutely gorgeous. So I totally get it. I used to be a Pink Princess hater, and now I'm totally a Pink Princess lover, and I have a huge pot of it. So this person said low light plants concept is BS. Not all of them like direct sun, and some of them can survive low light conditions, but they will be happier in bright, indirect light. I've talked about this a bunch, you guys. Low light plants are a myth. Sure, there are some plants that will tolerate lower light conditions, like snake plants, ZZ plants, even pothos, but they're not gonna grow, They're not gonna thrive. They don't like it. No plant wants low light. No plant wants to be put in that dark corner of your home. It might survive, but it doesn't like it. So low light plants are a myth. It's not a thing. There are low light tolerant plants, yes, but that plant will be much happier if you put it in bright indirect light like this person said. So I 100% agree with this. I've talked about this a bunch before. And I think it's really misleading, honestly, to tell people that their plants are going to be totally fine in that dark corner over there. I mean, that plant might tolerate living in that dark corner of your home for a while, but it's not going to grow and it's not going to thrive. And honestly, it becomes an issue of temperature a lot of the time too. Granted, we don't tend to keep our homes very cold, but when you don't have a plant in a warm, sunny spot, it takes a lot longer for the soil to dry out. So you can actually cause a lot of root issues by keeping a plant in a darker corner. So if you do this for any reason in your home, just be very, very careful and very, very deliberate about your watering. There are also these things called grow lights, and they don't have to be ugly. There are so many options. I personally have some Soltech track lights above me here that hit these shelves behind me, and they're very aesthetically pleasing. You can get pendant lights. There are so many options on the market for grow lights and grow bulbs. I have all my bulbs come from Sansi. They're very affordable, and you can very easily disguise these as regular light fixtures in your home. So if you're very dead set on putting a plant in a corner of your home that does not get a lot of light, please. Grow lights are your friends, and they're LED. They don't take up a lot of energy, so you don't need to worry about your electric bill going through the roof unless you're like me and you have a whole room full of them and lots of grow lights. Then it might start impacting your electric bill just a little bit. But the one grow light, cute little pendant light or something in the corner of your dark home is going to make a huge, huge, huge difference. So please don't put that ZZ plant in a dark corner, babe. Don't do it. All right, so this person says neem oil is overrated and overprescribed. Yeah, I'm going to agree with this one. So I recently posted my pest video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys got some good information out of that. But the comment section was just like flooded with people telling me what they use, which is great. I asked you guys, I was curious, but a lot of people really just go above and beyond for no reason. Neem oil is unnecessary. Tea tree oil, also unnecessary. I think Castile soap sure helps because like the soap itself can like suffocate and kill bugs, but it also can burn your leaves. Hydrogen peroxide can burn your leaves. Girl, why are you mixing all that stuff up into one bottle when you can literally just use alcohol? Like I used to mix neem oil, alcohol, tea tree scented Castile soap, and God knows what else into a bottle and spray it on my plants. And did it work? Sure. But it also made my leaves sticky, and it made it so that I had to wash the plant off again after applying it. And it's like, how long do you leave it on before you wash it off? You can't put it back under the grow lights or in the sun with the stuff on it because you'll burn it. You know what's great about alcohol? It evaporates. And then it's just gone. You don't have to wash it off. You don't have to worry about where it goes. It's non-toxic. I mean, it smells really strong. But I really do think that we overcomplicate things. I actually personally hate neem oil for plants. I love it for other purposes. I use it in my skincare, actually. It's a really great antimicrobial. If you have like acne or if you struggle with acne, neem oil, you guys. Not only does it smell terrible, it's sticky, and it's kind of unnecessary. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's super duper unnecessary. And if it gets into your soil, it's so hard to get it out. If you get soap in your soil, it's also really hard to get it out. Like I'm begging you guys not to overcomplicate your DIY pest care sprays. Like you do you, boo-boo. You know what I mean? If that's what you really are dead set on doing, go for it. But I haven't found the neem oil and all of the other things mixed in to be any more effective than just straight up alcohol. It's never going to burn your plants. It's never going to damage your plants. It evaporates right off of them. It kills everything on contact. It's just kind of like, it's kind of just been like a no-brainer for me to switch over from doing that. Plus, I have so many plants, you guys. I really don't have the time to be mixing some kind of concoction and then have to worry about removing it off of the plant afterwards. So I honestly will just come in here at night when the grow lights turn off and just spray alcohol everywhere just as like a preventive. And it sanitizes everything too. So like, I don't know, you could spray it on your pots, you could spray it on your soil, you could spray it anywhere, everywhere. I even use it to just like clean surfaces when I don't feel like getting stuff out from under the sink. So 70% isopropyl alcohol is something you should 100% have in your arsenal for taking care of your plants. Of course, this is no hate to anybody who loves neem oil. I just don't know anybody who loves neem oil. I think we all kind of hate it. Like, even when I was using it, I hated it. And if you think horticultural neem oil smells bad, girl, don't buy regular like neem oil because it's even more concentrated. The horticultural neem oil is diluted, so it's like less sticky and smelly than it normally is. So if you think it's sticky and smelly now, stay away from the real stuff. So I agree with this person. I think that neem oil is overrated. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This person says, people who have been in the plant game for a while are snobs, especially with newbies, especially if said noob shows a little pride for their small plants bought a few months ago at Lowe's. And let me tell you how much I hate the gatekeepers and the elitists in this community because it's unnecessary. It's so insanely unnecessary. Like, girl, be excited about your pothos. I'm excited for you that you're excited about your pothos. You don't need to spend a bunch of money on fancy plants to be happy and enjoy the experience. Even if you have 5 plants or 500 plants, you're a plant person. We're all the same. Like, it does not matter. And I've experienced this a lot, especially with the anthurium community. There's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of elitism that goes on in the anthurium world, and I'm not sure why or where it comes from and why people want to hold things so close to their chest. I mean, like, granted, if you're doing something that you plan on patenting or something along those lines, it's understandable to want to keep that to yourself. But like, why are we gatekeeping just like really basic information from people who are new? So like, I just recently started breeding anthurium, and there are a lot of people who don't like that. They don't like it. Then I'm not sure why, because like, I'm just as capable as you of spending money on fancy anthurium and breeding them. Like, you're not special just because you bought a bunch of expensive plants. So I'm not sure where that comes from. It does seem to be more of like a boys' club. So like, I'm not all that surprised by it. Majority of the plant community is female, in case you didn't notice. But you do have a lot of men in like the anthurium space, and they're really cranky, and I don't know why. I'm just like, you guys, we don't need to be doing this. Like, it's unnecessary. There's room for everybody to be successful. There's room for everybody to just do whatever the hell they want to do with their plants. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, sure, people are going to have a lot of respect for growers who have been doing it for 30 years and have cultivated really beautiful plants. But if you're going to be a jerk about it, like, I'm not going to want to buy them from you. no matter how beautiful they are. So if anybody's ever making you feel that way in the plant community, please, please, please do not let it get you down. There's always going to be bad actors in every single community. For the most part, the plant community is the most kind, compassionate, and nurturing community I've ever been a part of. You guys are amazing. I know my plant fam isn't like that. Like, we don't do that here. We don't gatekeep. We don't sit and try and pretend that we're better than anybody else around here. I'm not better than you just because I have more plants than you. I'm not better than you just because I have more expensive plants than you. I'm not better than you just because I've been doing this for longer than you. I'm certainly not better than you because I hit record on a camera in this room by myself and then upload it to the internet. I'm just a normal person. I'm just a plant girl who really loves plants, and I really love sharing the things that I learn about plants with you guys. Like, there's so much room for everybody in this community to be successful and to enjoy themselves, that this attitude is unnecessary for sure. So if anybody's ever made you feel that way, I'm so sorry. And I hope that you know that you have a place here with us and that you're always welcome and that nobody's ever going to make you feel that way in this space. So yeah, that is my opinion on the gatekeeping elitists, the snobs. Like, they're just plants, girl. Let's be so for real right now. Like, in the grand scheme of things, they're just plants. This is a good one to leave you guys with. This person says crotons are pretty. We can drag them in the comments below, you guys, because we all know that crotons are ugly. No, seriously, I think that they are beautiful outdoor plants and they do really well outdoors. They are not houseplants, you guys. They really don't thrive inside, and I think the colors are horrendous, like, for indoors. I remember when I first started getting into plants, I would just go to like Home Depot and buy up like all of the little like Costa Farms plants, and I would learn all about them from trying to keep them alive, because like they were really cheap at the time too. They cost more now. The prices go up every year. I bought a croton and I thought it was so pretty when I saw it in the store, because I was like, wow, look at the red and the yellow on this plant. Like, no other plant has these colors. Look at it. It's beautiful. I was so enamored. The second I brought it home and put it with the rest of my plants, I was like, ew. Like, no, actually, this is ugly. It was like, the colors just don't do it for me. And if they do it for you, you do you, boo-boo. Like, that's totally fine. No hate to the croton lovers, but like also lots of hate to the croton lovers just for funsies, because why? Why? Let me know in the comments below what plant you think is just like absolutely hideous that other people seem to really like. I would love to know. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I was scrolling through and I just thought some of these were so funny and so relatable, and I wanted to give my opinion. And I would love to hear what you guys think, obviously, about all these things in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, we can definitely do another one. There are plenty of people online with their unpopular opinions. Feel free to leave yours in the comments below. Maybe we'll do another video just with like all of your unpopular houseplant opinions and I can react to those. So you should definitely give this video a thumbs up. You guys, don't forget to subscribe. If you watched this whole entire video and you're not subscribed yet, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It helps me out for sure. It helps the algorithm. Lets YouTube know, like, hey, people like this video. People are engaging with this video. Maybe I'll show it to more people. So share it with your planty groups, your planty friends, and let's chat about it in the comments below. If you watched this whole entire video, leave me some emojis, whatever emojis you feel like are appropriate for this video. The engagement definitely helps me out, and I love you guys so very much. I hope that you're having a beautiful day wherever you are out there in the world. Don't forget to spread kindness. Don't forget to stay hydrated, fam. And thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring today's video and sending us this amazing chair. You can check them out down below, and I hope I see you guys in the next one.